Exploring ExtraFax for Domino. Server Configuration Document Overview. From the ExtraFax database, manage ExtraFax configuration settings from the Server Administration Server Configuration view. At a view level, easily determine what version of ExtraFax is in use along with the current server status. The ExtraFax server configuration document consists of many parameters. This demonstration will focus on the most popular settings. For more complete product documentation, please visit our website. On the General tab, update the company information section accordingly, as it will be used by default to populate cover page information, and the fax number is used as the default CSID. It is important to note that ExtraFax works based on a license key. License keys are not only version specific, they are also specific to the server ID where ExtraFax is installed. Configuring the call settings section helps ExtraFax to determine what calls are considered local, long distance, or international dialing. This is a very important configuration. The fax domain name configuration defaults to ExtraFax. Though it can be modified, if a change is made, be sure that the related Domino foreign domain document is also updated accordingly. Whether an inbound fax is automatically or manually routed, ExtraFax must be configured to determine if all pages, first page plus doclink, or doclink only will be included in the email. Whether the email should be signed or encrypted can also be specified. The email content can also be customized if desired. If an inbound fax cannot be routed, for example, if there is no inbound routing document configured, or if there's an error, ExtraFax can automatically notify someone so that action can be taken. If the ExtraFax client is in use and there is a requirement to identify which cover pages are available for selection, populate this parameter accordingly. You can also configure a preferred default cover page form that will be referenced when no cover page has been already defined, for example in a user preference document. It is very important to configure security settings once ExtraFax is installed. By default, everyone can send faxes. If restrictions are required, simply select the names or group names from the Domino directory in order to restrict access at a more granular level. If everyone is permitted to send faxes, however, more granular restrictions are required, such as controlling who can send long-distance or international faxes. Simply select the authorized names or group names from the Domino directory. Security restrictions are in place by default that control who can read inbound and outbound faxes, in addition to controlling who can route faxes. These restrictions are controlled with the use of ACL roles, which are normally assigned to administrators who are responsible for the ExtraFax implementation. Those granted permission to manage inbound fax documents can be restricted to only see the first page of the fax. By default, there are no restrictions. However, when enabled, only those with ACL InFax admin role can see all pages of a fax. Credentials required to see the entire fax content is configurable. Those granted permission to manage inbound and outbound fax documents can be restricted to only have visibility to see certain sections of the ExtraFax database. By default, there are no restrictions. However, when enabled, the appropriate ACL role credentials are required to see the different sections of the database. When ExtraFax APIs are used to integrate third-party applications with ExtraFax, web services must be switched to on. On the Advanced tab, identify the Domino directory preferences. Define the matching sequence used by the ExtraFax inbound routing process. Default sequence is as seen in this caption. ExtraFax will evaluate each of the above keyword values in sequence from left to right until it finds a match. We hope you've enjoyed this tutorial. To learn more about our products, please visit our website for more product information and additional tutorials. Visit us at www.extracomm.com.